Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while. We had the holiday season and I've been struggling a little bit with a migraine, so that's kind of slowed me down a little bit. But I did want to come to you and talk to you about the new year. And I don't like to make resolutions. I feel like a lot of times you feel like a failure when you mess up. So I have more like goals or something I'm just working toward. If you mess up a day or even a month, you can jump right back on. You don't feel like a failure. And so I kind of wanted to go over those things with you. I'm working on mind, heart, and body. And they all work together. If one is out of sync, the rest are out of sync. So I think it's important to work on your spiritual, your mental, your physical health all together. So I'm going to kind of go over a little bit. I have it written down here for what I want to work on in 2019. Hopefully these things will help you, and I'll be praying for you guys. I hope you pray for me. As we know, these things are not easy. If they were, then we would have already had them mastered and we wouldn't be working on them this year. So we really need to encourage each other to work hard at this, find out what God would have for us, and if we fall, encourage each other to get back up and get going again, because we are going to mess up. There's going to be seasons when things are a little bit tougher. Maybe you have to go out to eat more, so you get off this diet, or you're not able to go walk, or you aren't able to spend as much time reading as you would like, or whatever the case may be. So we just need to be able to pick ourselves back up and go again. So with that being said, let's get started on what my 2019 goals are. Okay, so first I want to talk about my 2019 word. And I struggled with this. I wasn't really sure what my word was, but I came up with the word courage. And I don't mean courage as in I'm scared to do something necessarily. It could be that. Or just courage to do something out of my comfort zone. I've noticed, and I've even said to a couple of my friends, I've noticed that God is placing things on my heart that is out of my comfort zone. And so to have the courage to step out and do these things is huge for me. Even YouTube is a step out of my comfort zone. I am a more quiet, reserved person, so jumping on here and talking to people is not the easiest thing for me. And so courage is my word this year. And the verse that goes with that comes out of Joshua 1:9. Have not I commanded thee, be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever so thou goest. So this to me is a really powerful verse, especially with courage. Fear and anxiety grips most of us, and I want to go into it a little bit in another video, but I have struggled with anxiety for the last almost 3 years, I believe, last October. I got sick and had to face a lot of my fears from childhood. I'll go into more detail in another video, but it caused a lot of anxiety. And so being courageous and not having fear is huge to me. And so I believe that God brings you along the journey when you're ready to go through it. And he brought me to the bottom when I got sick, and he is now bringing me back up. And last year was a huge year for growth for me, growth in Christ and learning who I was in Him. And so this year, I'm excited to see how He uses courage in my life. So next, on the mind and the heart, Philippians 4:8 is something that has always resonated with me. I'm not good at this, guys. I'm just going to be real. I don't, how do you put it? I'm easily swayed, and I don't always think about or say things with wisdom. And so let me read the verse, because it'll make that statement make a little bit better sense. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there any virtue, and if there are any praise, think on these things." So we know that what's in our mind goes to our heart. What's in our heart comes out our mouth. And so I need to work on thinking about the right things and not allowing in the bad things. I wanted to work on how I speak about other people. I struggle with that, and that shows a character flaw that I want to work on this year. And so these things in this verse are things that I want to work on. So if it's true, finding out, gossip is easy, but it doesn't always mean it's true. So I need to think on things. Is it true? If I'm not sure if it's true, then it needs to leave. It needs to leave my mind until I find out truth. And is it honest? Is what I'm saying honest? Is what somebody's telling me, is it honest? And again, that's with gossip. Is it just? Are we being just in our thoughts or in our words about ourselves or someone else? Whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely. Is it pure? Is what I'm hearing, seeing, are those things pure? I'm pretty good at those things. We have eliminated so many things in our home many, many years ago. So that one's not quite as hard, but pure can also mean when you're around other people, are you around people that are putting pure things into your mind and into your heart? Are they saying things that are pure or doing things that are pure? Also, something that I know a lot of people struggle with is pornography, and that's mostly with men, not always. But women struggle with reading or watching the wrong types of books and shows. And so we need to think about that. Is this pure? Is this book pure? Whatsoever things are lovely. If something is being said or running through your mind that is not nice, you need to make it leave. And you are master over your mind. It is not easy, especially when it's been feeding through your brain your whole life. But you are master over your thoughts and over your mind and over your mouth. And the Bible says your tongue is a muscle, but the heart is one to control. And so even in that, I tend to say things and mean them one way, and they come out a different way, and they sound ugly even when I didn't mean it. And that's another thing that I want to work on, as far as, are my words lovely? Are my actions lovely? Are my thoughts lovely? Whatsoever things are of good report. Well, if it's gossip, it's not good report. Okay, and I'm speaking to myself here. We need to work on not even listening to gossip. in anything that comes out of our mouth, no matter who it is or what it is. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, kind of thing. We've all heard it, but not many of us are very good at it. That's something that takes practice. That does not come natural to most people, and I'm one of those. So whatsoever things are of good report. So if it's not nice, just don't say it. If there are any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Think on the things that are good. My husband and I went through a really rough time when my kids were small, and God showed me this in particular. And when we would butt heads, and sometimes you feel like there's just nothing good to say about this person, well, that's just not true. Fine, even if there's one thing, find that thing, and that is the thing that you think on and the thing that you speak of. And the days that you really, really, really don't want to say anything nice about that person, those are the days that you need to really be working hard. Those days with my husband, when he would come home from work, I would make myself spend all day telling my little tiny boys how wonderful their dad was in this particular area. And sometimes it was, your daddy's working hard for us today. Your daddy's working hard for us. Your daddy's a hard worker. And we would do things like clap and praise him when he came in. My boys were tiny, and so you could do that with them and say, yay, daddy's home. Daddy worked hard for us today. And even though my mind was like, he's driving me crazy, or this situation is driving me crazy, my children didn't need to hear that. The situation didn't have anything to do with my kids. And so God showed me and gave me the strength to say, you know what? This one thing is good. And we're going to concentrate on that one thing today. And it made it hard to stay angry with him. And a lot of times, and I'm speaking of my husband, but honestly, it went the other way around too, because we're all human. But, a lot of times when you were just like, this is driving me crazy, this is so tough, that one thing is what kept me going and giving me the strength to step on and make the next step and the next making more progress toward getting better in our marriage. And so just think about those things. I'll make a video one day on that too, how we made it through the darkest time in our marriage. But nobody is all bad. And so we can find one thing. One thing is all you need to keep your strength going. And ask God to show you. For some people, if they're really struggling with alcohol or whatever the case may be, it may be something super simple, like they made up the bed. They put their coffee cup in the sink. It doesn't have to be anything huge, just something good that you can find. And, it will really help you with that person. It'll help you to start seeing them different, and you'll be amazed once you get that started, how many other things you find good about that person, because God will start bringing those things to your attention. So that is something that I want to work on this year, as far as my word for the year and for my mind and my heart. And also for my mind and my heart, I had gotten out of the practice of reading like I need to. I enjoy self-help books and podcasts and all the other good things. And so I'm trying very hard this year to get back in it. My goal is one book a month. And I know some months it's going to be tougher for me to do that, and that's okay, because some is better than none. So I have a list of 12 books that I would like to get to this year. And I pray over these books that God will put them in the order or even switch them out for something that I need in that moment. So I'm just going to kind of go over. I don't have all of these books. Some of them I have on my Kindle. Some of them I actually have back here. But the bulk of them are not back here. The bulk of them are on my Kindle. So I'll just kind of read over them and tell you who the author is. The first one, and the one I just started for January, is Discerning the Voice of God by Priscilla Shirer. You don't have to spend much time on here with me to know I love her. She is such an encouragement to me. And so I have 3 of her books on here. The next one is God is Able, and that's for February. And March is The Jewel in His Crown. All 3 are by Priscilla Shirer. Book number 4 is Walk It Out. And I've showed you that one before. I do have that one, and I've started it and just never got it finished. So that is that book. The next one is Listen, Love, Repeat by Karen Ehman. Ehman. I don't have that one. It's on my Kindle. But I heard good things about that one last year when it came out, and I wanted to read it and never got around to it. So that's book number 5. This is book number 6. A friend. What is it? Okay. And there's the author. A friend gave me this book, and it looks really good. So, the importance of strength in a homeschooled marriage. And if you homeschool, you know that homeschool is like any other job. It can take a toll on your marriage if you're not careful. So I'm excited about this one. Let's see, number 7. It's right here. This one was also given to me by a friend. This was her pastor, I think in college. From Footers to Finish Nails. I'm excited to read that. Why Motherhood Matters, and I've mentioned this one before. This is September McCarthy, and I have started that one and never got it finished, so I'm putting it back on my list for this year. And Kingdom Women, I've heard a friend talk about this one. It's supposed to be really good. It's by Tony Evans, which is Priscilla Schreier's dad. And I love her, so I'm sure that I'm really going to enjoy him. I also got my dad a book from him or by him for Christmas, and he's really enjoying it too. So hopefully that'll be a good one. The Gospel Centered Mom, and I don't have the name written down there. Is it Brooke McGoughlin? That's it. Yes. And then next is, one of my other favorites, Heidi St. John, and this is her book, Romance. I think your marriage is a huge part of your Christian walk, and you need to work on that constantly. And so I'm excited to read that book by her. I've read other books by her, and I loved them. By the way, if you have not read Becoming Mom Strong, it doesn't matter if your kids are grown, if you're not a parent yet, if you never plan on being a mama, that book is amazing for any Christian woman. Go get it. It is a must read. It is truly amazing. I may even put it on my list to read again this year. And Let Me Be a Woman by Elisabeth Elliot. I love Elisabeth Elliot. She is on the Bible Broadcasting Network, which is a radio station here in North Carolina. It's 95.5 FM, but you can look it up on the internet and stream on there. And they have her speaking on there, or they did, I need to check, almost daily. And I believe it's on Building Blocks for the Family, which used to be, I haven't turned it on in a little while, used to be at 2 or 2:30. But if you can catch her on there, you will love her. She was an amazing, amazing woman, had an incredible life, full of lots of wisdom. And so if you can find any of her books or listen to any of her speakings, it's worth it. So that's my 12 books, unless God changes them. And I'm excited to see what I learn through those books. So the next thing is health. I'm also going to do another video on this, but I have something called Hashimoto's. I don't know if you can see right here, but I'm having a flare-up. So my neck right here, my thyroid is really swollen, and it causes all kinds of side effects, and I'm having several of them right now too. And so I want to work on those side effects. I haven't been really successful in finding something that helps when I have the flare-up. And so that's something I'm praying about, and I'm going to work on this year. I want to walk more. I just need to, I'm realizing as I'm getting older, my strength is already starting to dwindle, and I don't want that to happen. So I want to walk more and kind of work on my strength building. And I don't mean lift weights. That's not me. And I don't want to be muscular. But I do want to maintain the strength that I have. And another thing that helps pretty much everything in your body, your mind, your health situations, is drink more water. And I'm so bad at this. But I will say, if I put cucumber or strawberry or something like that in it, I don't mind drinking it. So I've got to get back in the habit. I was doing so good, but I need to get back in the habit of drinking more water. So that is my goals for 2019, and I just cannot believe that it's 2019. Oh my soul, the days go by so fast. But I hope that this helped you, maybe encouraged you to do something in 2019. And if you have any questions about any of these, let me know. Check out some of these books. I have started a few of them, and I know that those particular books are really good. And hopefully we will grow together in the Lord this year. Make this a great year. Purpose today, and have a good day. Bye, guys.